وَتُعْطِي مَنْ حَرَمَكَ. This is the second. The second part, by which if you gather these three parts, you would have gathered all of akhlaq, all of good character. For you to give the one who has prevented you. Again, you need assistance. You're in financial difficulty one day. You ask for assistance from someone, they don't give. And then further down the track, Allah Ta'ala blesses you with wealth. Allah gives you property. Allah gives you ease in the dunya. And then they become in need. Tit for tat. One for one. My revenge. I was in need before. He had money. He was wealthy. I asked. He saw my state. He should have known even if I didn't ask. He didn't give me. And now the tables have turned. What do? What is your response? Is your response the response of someone who has graduated from al-madrasa al-ananiya am al-madrasa al-abawiyya? Is your response the response of the one who has graduated from the school of selfishness, the school of I, the school of Iblis, ana khayrun min, I am better than him? Or is the school of al-abawiyya, father from grandfather, son from father? The school of the prophets and the messengers, the school of the pious and the salihin, the school of the Gnostics and the Arifin, the school of those who witnessed and the Shahideen. Which school have you graduated from? Is it the school of Muhammad bin Abdullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, or the school of Iblis la'anahullah? Which school have you graduated from? I'm not talking about your public school or your high school or your university or your TAFE. Because there is a school that is above and over all of these schools. And this is the school in which one man who was sent by one God, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to one nation. One man from one God to one nation. You say to me, well, there's many nations on the earth. There's Muslims, there's Christians, there's Jews, there's Buddhists, there's Hindus, there's Zoroastrians, there's atheists, there's agnostics. There's many nations, perhaps hundreds of nations. No, there's only one nation. It's only one ummah, and that ummah is one of two. Either it's the ummah of da'wah, or it's the ummah of ijabah. Either it's the ummah which has responded to the invitation of Allah, the call of Allah, or is the ummah that has received the invitation. Some have read it and have not RSVP'd yet. Others have just taken it and put it in their pocket. They haven't looked at it. Maybe tomorrow they'll look at it. Maybe next week they'll look at the invitation. Maybe in a year's time. Maybe in 10 years or 20 years' time. Maybe just before their death. They'll have a glimpse of the reality and accept the invitation. And you'll see them in the feast in Jannah, inshallah. But you don't know what the end is. The khawateen, the end of our lives are unknown to us. But we have hope that Allah gives us husn al-khatimah. And the Prophet ﷺ says, if you were to ask Allah Ta'ala for husn al-khatimah, if you were to ask Allah Ta'ala to give you a death on La ilaha illallah, which is husn al-khatimah, means to die as a mu'min, to die as a believer, to die as someone who has tasted the delight of La ilaha illallah. You would have broken the back of shaitan. Taken a stick and broken his back. Because shaitan doesn't give up until death. His whole point is to take you away from iman, even if it's the moment before death. But if you ask Allah Ta'ala husn al-khatimah 3 times, then you have broken the back of shaitan. So we say, Ya Allah biha, Ya Allah biha, Ya Allah bi husn al-khatimah. Ya Allah biha, Ya Allah biha, Ya Allah bi husn al-khatimah. Ya Allah biha, Ya Allah biha, Ya Allah bi husn al-khatimah. Nadkhul al-jannah ma'taha walid Fatima. Allow us to enter Jannah with Taha, Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, the father of Fatima, radiyallahu ta'ala. How many women today? How many daughters today? How many sisters today? How many mothers today from the ummah of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam? If you were to ask her, who is Fatima? She'll say, oh, she's my cousin, or my auntie, or my friend. Who is Fatima al-Zahra? Who is she? She doesn't know. So it is your responsibility, O brother, to take the daughter of the Prophet ﷺ and present it to your sister. Present her to your mother. Present her to your cousin. Present her to your auntie. Present her to your friends. Present her even to non-Muslims. Because it is by Fatima al-Zahra that we seek the barakah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Because the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says, that which makes her happy makes me happy. And that which makes her upset makes me upset. He says that Fatima is a part of me. Imagine that. Fatima is a part of me. She's a part of me. So why is she not a part of us in our lives and the lives of our women? The lives of Sayyidina Ali bin Abi Talib radiallahu anhu, the first child to enter Islam. This is called Masjid Ali bin Abi Talib radiyallahu ta'ala anhu wa karrama wajhahu. And may Allah ennobled his face, or and Allah has ennobled his face. Why do we say wa karrama Allah wajhahu? But you don't see for any other Sahaba, you hear anyone saying wa karrama Allah wajhahu. Why do we add this addition? Some of the ulama have said, because he was one of the early Sahaba who accepted Islam as a child in the household of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But when he saw Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in the early days of the Wahy in Islam, standing before Allah, and then bowing before Allah, and then making sujood, placing jabhatu al-sharifa ala al-ard, his ennobled and honorable forehead. Oh, that we could kiss that forehead of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That earth in which he prostrated on was ennobled. Do you know why? Because the head of the ennobled, the forehead of the beloved, came into contact with it. Oh, that I were the earth on which the Prophet ﷺ placed his forehead on. Oh, that I were the earth in which the Prophet ﷺ used to walk on, to the point that Sayyidina Imam Malik radiallahu anhu wa rahmatullahi alayhi, whenever he used to be within the city of Medina, he did not ride his donkey. He did not ride his dabba. He used to walk. Why? Because he didn't know maybe this sand was the sand in which those noble feet used to walk on. And so how could he get the feet of his valiant beast walk on the earth in which the feet of the beloved sallallahu alaihi wasallam walked on, the feet which superseded, ascended and rose to where no other creation rose, to the presence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, where even Sayyidina Jibreel alayhi salam could not enter, past Sidratul Muntaha. So these feet of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and that which touched his feet, his na'al sharif, his noble sandals, even his noble sandals. And how many of the ulama and the muhaddithun, the hadith scholars, gave vivid descriptions of even the sandals of the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, to the point where Imam Yusuf al-Nabhani, he went through the hadith books trying to gather the descriptions, the written descriptions of the sandals, and he arrived at an illustration of the sandal of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he hoped that since the past scholars, they did khidmah of passing down the written description, that he also does khidmah of the Prophet ﷺ sandals by serving it as an illustration of the sandals and providing it to the ummah. And how wonderful it would have been to be the Sahabi Anas bin Malik, who used to hold the sandals of the Prophet ﷺ, the carrier of the sandals of the Prophet ﷺ. What honor, what nobility, what station. Anas bin Malik radiallahu anhu, the one whom he was presented to the Prophet ﷺ by his mother. When ﷺ entered Medina and everyone came and presented the Prophet ﷺ with some gift, the mother of Anas bin Malik came to the Prophet ﷺ and says, I have nothing except this child. Take him as a gift for you. Let him serve you. So he became the servant of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So these are the likes of the Sahaba, who their hearts became soft and melted at the sight of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. When they were at home with their families, they yearned for Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was the pivotal example of how a father should be, of how a son should be, of how an uncle should be, of how a nephew should be, of how an individual should be in society in whatever role he plays. So let us go away tonight with the message of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam to his ummah.